So, like, I want to have like a kind of Buddhist inspirational story to get us out of this kind of bad weather. Because maybe we don't know. Let's see. Once upon a time, there was an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. Such a bad luck, they said sympathetically. Maybe, the farmer replied. The next morning, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. How wonderful! The neighbors exclaimed. Maybe, replied the old man. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown and broke his leg. The neighbors again came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. Maybe, answered the farmer. The day after, military official came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbors congratulated the farmer on how well things had turned out. Maybe, said the farmer.
Very good. Thank you, Gerry. Thank you. On to our prepared speeches. Our first speaker for tonight is Joe Hofmann. He is speaking from the Special Occasion Speeches booklet, and it's number 3, The Roast. His speech title is Roasting Lisa. Many of you think you know Lisa, but tonight Joe will reveal the true nature of Lisa. Joe.
Most of you know that Lisa's a retired school teacher, right? Mm-hmm. If you didn't, it was 1st and 3rd grade, I understand. And so one of the things about Lisa is she loves to engage the audience. And she does that out of habit from working with young kids, right, Larry? But that's part of her nature. She wants to make sure you're listening. She likes to make sure that people are listening to her and learning things that she's talking about. She likes to reiterate a lot of principles. But she's a lover of chocolate. You know that people love to give teachers things. And typically it's an apple. I don't have an apple. But since she likes chocolate, I really don't want to give up my Snickers bar, my birthday Snickers bar. Oh. But as a true Toastmaster, she loves a good icebreaker. What I do want to give is an icebreaker. And when she really gets in your face, you want to make sure she has the icebreaker. So that's a way to break her out of that direct contact. Mm-hmm. Then another way to do it is what really school teachers love. Is remember how you're always supposed to say, "Yes, Mrs. Rippion." Make sure, I want to hear it. Let's hear it from everybody. Yes, Mrs. Rippion. So that's another way to get her out of that reiterating when she wants to make sure that you got the message. So another thing about Lisa, she always loves a lesson. And she wants to make sure you got it. And so one of the things she likes to do is she likes you to pay attention. So when she's in your face, asking you if she sees someone falling asleep in the back, make sure you keep those pictures rolling. You can always say, what is it? Yes, Mrs. Rippion. Okay. But the other thing I wanted to let you know, she loves lists. So when we were preparing for this, one of the things you have to do with a roast is you make sure that the person you're talking to is going to be comfortable with things you're going to roast them on. So we got together I had said, hey, I want to do a roast. She was very gracious to let me do it on her. And I said, well, here's some of the things I have. And then we didn't talk about it until a couple of weeks later. And when I said, we need to talk, she started telling me all the stuff that she wanted, here's the stuff. I said, wait, slow down, I need to take notes. So she loves to give information out. So what you always have to do is make sure you capture it correctly and you slow her down. So the other thing, she likes to correct herself and others. So just make sure, but she even corrects herself when she's wrong. So you remember that. But the other thing I wanted to say, she loves to dress for an occasion. And you notice how well she's dressed now? She always dressed impeccably. She even knows how to dress for forest fires. And if you remember that story, she was dressed for the fire when she came down the stairs in her nightie and bare feet.
Yeah,
the bare feet. She didn't have anything else, no contacts, no glasses, which is probably a good thing. She didn't want to look at herself in the mirror. That's it. But so you have to be very careful when you invite her to dinner. You never know how impeccably she's going to be dressed. I might have to reiterate that. But being that she's such a good sport, and really this whole teacher thing is really a superpower, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And to recognize that, I found the perfect gift for her. Socks. So the next time you show up for a forest fire, make sure you wear these socks. They say, teach what your superpower is. Her superpower is teaching. So what I learned from you is,
thank you.
Is always dress for the occasion and bring your superpower with you.
I will.
Thank you, Lisa.
Our second speaker for the night is Gerry Stevens. He'll be speaking from Pathways Innovative Planning, Level 3 elective, Connect with Storytelling. His speech title is A Story About Being a Dad Caught in the Middle. Gerry is a husband to a wonderful, loving, and supportive wife, stay-at-home dad, and proud father of 4.5-year-old boy named Evan. He loves what he does and hopes more dads will take up the stay-at-home dad career.
I sympathize with the cliche that's often used with stay-at-home moms and homemakers that something has to give. For me, as a stay-at-home dad and homemaker, it's my appearance. I hardly ever do my hair anymore, and I can't tell you the last time that I was clean shaven. But I do have the dad bod. Right? Am I right?
Yep.
Now, it has been an amazing experience being a stay-at-home dad. Constantly chasing Evan around the house, playing hide and go seek, just up and down all day long. I get about 16,000 steps in a day. It's incredible. Fortunate for me, recent studies have shown that women find dad body more attractive than men with a six-pack. Wait a minute. I don't think I understand dad body. I think dad body's the cushy one, right? I don't think it's possible to have dad body and be an active stay-at-home dad. That's probably a good thing, because I wouldn't want to be the sex symbol of all the mom groups that I've been involved with over the years. Probably get me into trouble. Because 9 out of 10 times, in my experience being a stay-at-home dad, I have been the only male around. All the libraries, all the schools, all the daycares were not just, in my experience, predominantly employed by women, they were entirely employed by women. This translates into the programming as well. I used to take Evan to the library programs for Wee One's Wiggle, where the little under 2-year-olds got to sing and shake their sillies out. The songs were all about moms, and one really, really bothered me. It goes like this, you all know it. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed, one fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Right? You know that. We sing it different in my house. Daddy called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. It rhymes. Right? Mommy called the doctor and the doctor said doesn't rhyme. There's another song that, it's actually the only song I've come across that has a line about dads. You know this one as well. The wheels on the bus.
Round and round.
Yeah, on the wheels on the bus, there's a dad. Now let's see, it goes. The daddies on the bus say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, those are the cushy dads. They get story time, and they get to be the tickle monster. Right? Not all the other stuff. In my experience, this also flows through to all the programming out there for parents, where it's predominantly women-driven. I'd like to tell a story about a Princes and Princess event that I went to with Evan. It was at the local paint-your-own-pottery store. Once we committed to going to this, I thought to myself, now, if we're doing this, we're going to look the part. Evan, you must be a prince. So, in the middle of March, we went out to the store looking for a prince costume. Yeah, there are no prince costumes in any store in the middle of March. Maybe Halloween, but not in March. So, I thought I'd go to the sewing section, look for a pattern. Yeah, none of that. I ended up having to make Evan a prince costume. Started with the white t-shirt, the cutest little size there is. Got a ribbon, couple ribbons to do the sash, the royal sash. Gave him shoulder pads. And no prince costume is complete without some royal compliments of Burger King, of course. Evan was the only prince at the Princes and Princess party. I was the only dad at the Princes and Princess party. In a sea of Elsas. And one professionally hired actress doing photo shoots as Belle. I think in part this is because the bar is so incredibly low for dads. It's so low that the Father of the Year mug is a participation award. You showed up. Let me reiterate that. Those Father of the Year awards, those mugs, the token of participation, kills dads like me. I don't want a participation. What I want is, I want society to hold dads to a higher standard. And even if they're not there right now, I'd like us to take a step and start using the word parent interchangeably. Start using a little bit more parent and a little bit less mommy. May I, Beth? Thank you. So the next time you see a paint with mommy sign, just take a little Sharpie. Politely cross this out and say, A. Only get to write upside down like that and backwards if you're a real dad. The other thing I want you to do, sing Five Little Monkeys the right way. Toastmaster, I'll have to clean up after myself.
So I will be doing the table topics, and I did a Google search and found some random table topics, and they're open to anybody. Even guests can do the table topics. I believe it's 1 to 2 minutes is the time limit. And so all you have to do is, I can either pick somebody or you can volunteer. If nobody volunteers, I'll pick you. Because I'm also a teacher in my other life outside of these doors, so I'm used to dealing with people that are reluctant to speak. So, would anybody like to volunteer? Okay. Larry, come on up. Either that or I can read it to you if that's a problem, but you do have to pick it. That I won't do for you. I'll just do it. So randomly pick one.
Oh, let's see.
Just one? Okay.
All right.
You need me to read it?
When you're 80 years old, what will matter to you most? Wow. When you're 80 years old, what will matter to you most? Okay, yes, could you, are we ready to start the light? Timing will matter tremendously. Well, when I'm 80 years old, what will matter the most, I think, will be the level of energy that I have. I do work very hard to stay in shape. I'm 67 now, and I'm still a ropes course facilitator. I still got a harness and pack in my trunk. So I think staying in shape, being healthy, and a conversation I've had with my wife also is about retirement. And that will be an issue for me because I'm just going to be honest with you, I absolutely love what I do. And I'm a realtor. And it's interesting, a couple of people commented on my looking tired today. It was a wonderful day. Some crazy things happened. My password encrypted program crashed. Dozens of passwords gone. I have no idea what they are because I never used them. They're all electronic. A bunch of other things happened, but I got a bunch of new leads. I'm excited about marketing my listings. They could be a little more active. We're working on that. But I love working with people. And that's something I don't think I'll ever stop. So I want to be alive, alert, and healthy enough to continue living life.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, anyone else like to volunteer for table topics? Okay. I forget your name. Reminds me, Louise.
I'll reiterate.
Welcome, Louise. Okay. Just
I'll
pick
just
one.
take this one.
Okay.
I think I like Larry's better.
Okay.
I didn't even read it yet. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? Ooh. Oh. Well, people often say I look younger than my 65 years, so I'll just go with that. I think maybe 52. But I don't want to be that age. I like being 65. I get to retire next year. I don't want to go backwards. I heard on the news just now on the way over here, about somebody who was a 59-year-old. Her husband had lost his job, and I'm thinking, I would not want to be that far away from retirement with the husband had lost their job, and they were, couldn't stand up to do their job. So I would probably think I was 52. I could go with that. But I like being my age. I have 2 grandchildren now. If you didn't know, my daughter did have her baby. And he's in the NICU, but he's doing great. So I have 2 grandchildren, and I wouldn't have those if I was 52. They'd be way too young for that. But I think that would be the age I'd like to be.
Okay, thanks for sharing. How long do I have? Do I have more time? Okay. Okay, so since we only had 2 speakers, we still have some more time if anybody wants to volunteer. Gerry, would you like to come up? I volunteered you. All right. Just one? Oops.
I'll take this one.
Take that one. Yep, there you go.
Chivalry right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can read it or you can. I know the font is really small. I didn't.
When it's all said and done, will you have said more than you've done? When it's all said and done, I will have most certainly done more than I've said. Because I'm a closer. Anytime someone puts an idea out there, no matter how crazy it is, no matter how difficult it is to get there, I'm the one that'll see it through. Case in point on Tuesday. Kind of a whacked out crazy idea to throw another meeting in on a week on short notice right before the holidays. We did it. We pulled it off. I remember in college, fraternity brothers said to me, "Oh, we should totally have a Jello wrestling contest at the house." Well, I had 300 gallons of Jello made by Penn State University, delivered in a Penn State University decal truck with a police officer, and we invited him.
Wow.
Yes, I know, right? These are accomplishments that I probably shouldn't share with everyone. When you have a lot to do in life, we're going to have some good and some bad. And for that reason, I will have done much more than I've said.
Thank you, Gerry. Okay. How about Srinivas? We haven't heard from you. Is that better? Hey. I have a hand to shake. Thanks for coming up, Srinivas. Hey, pick one. Okay.
Looks like this is longer.
Longer. Oh.
If you had the opportunity to get a massage across to a large group of people, what would your message? I'm sorry.
A message, you mean?
Right.
Washington.
Okay. We're. Oh. I'm wanting to see this myself. Does it really say that? Okay.
If you had the opportunity to get
Wow. A message. Oh my.
If you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would your message be? I didn't want to reiterate that, but I just stumbled. The message would be, get a massage.
Oh.
Actually, I was meeting today in a training, and somebody was talking that there's large incidence of cancer going around. Even though we're eating better, we are living healthy lives, doing all that we could do, but still incidence rates of these health issues, conditions is going up. Don't know why. We know that the reason that it's the stress. What happens here, you can't control. You can control everything, eating habits, trying to get as much medicine as possible, but still what happens here will tackle you down. I think massage would go better. In that case, as a first step to cure that the rampant health issue that we are seeing.
It's One more? Okay. So we have time for one more. Would anybody else like to volunteer before I choose my next victim? Okay. For coming up,
Thank you for bringing the
Table
topic of the
topics.
day.
Okay. All right. So only one. Wow. Got our attention with that.
If the average human lifespan was 40 years, how would you live your life differently? Now that's a really good question because I think we all often think, oh, if I could go back in time, if I could change this one thing and start all over again, what would I do? How would I affect that change and live my life differently? I think the question isn't if we could only live 40 years, what would we do? It's what should we do with the time we have now going forward? You can't go back and change things. You can only look at what you have now and figure out what you want to do going forward. So I've already thought about what I'm doing. I'm going to retool myself and find a new career. I'm 57. It's not over yet. So I think, for the next, hopefully, 40 years, I'm going to become yet another person and reinvent myself. That's what I would do.
Great.